There's so many things that I want to talk to you about because
right.
so much has happened
Yeah.
since the funeral.
Sure.
Can we start with Bobbi Kristina?
Sure, why not?
I know you're close to her.
Mm-hmm.
How is she?
Every time, and I'll say it in this form, every time that I discuss Bobbi Kristina, I discuss it with the one she's in the care of, who is Pat Houston, and who Whitney trusted with her life. And I think the world knows that. And that's who Bobbi Kristina is with, and I'm glad to say that. I know that I have the right and the permission of Bobbi Kristina to reach out to her, but I've chosen not to do that. And the same thing with her mother. I'm giving them a little bit of space.
So you haven't talked to her since the funeral?
No, just Pat, monitoring her through Pat. Mm-hmm. And Pat always tells me, she's okay. I've got her. I'm protecting her.
Well, you know, we saw the interview that she did with Oprah, and there were a lot of people that said, maybe it was too soon. What do you think?
Everybody has their opinion about it. You know, I'm proud of her because I was there the moment her mother died. And to come from what I saw that day to just seeing her stand and listening to her verbiage about her acceptance of her mother visiting her and the presence of her mom has given me a sense of comfort and peace. And I know that she's going to have to go through each level. I will acknowledge that this is one of the first deaths and personally that I've had to experience in my life that I have felt every phase of what people say the grieving process is. And I've watched Bobbi Kristina, and I don't know what phase she's on yet. But
she looked nervous.
Yeah, but you know, Bobbi Kristina's she's a little shy baby, you know. She's not, but her mother was working on that with her before she died. She was working on getting her ready for all of this. And so I think the stock that she's from, just from my own opinion, that she's going to do fine.
She's not built to break?
Never. No, just from her mother's side.
But Kim, you know she's going to be picked apart in this process.
Oh, sure.
And the first thing that people are hitting her with is the relationship with this Nick Gordon.
Sure.
Who is he?
Whoever he is to her and whoever they allowed him to be in their lives. I don't know enough about Nick to say who he is exactly. All I know is that he was there at the lowest moment of her life when her mother passed away. And as far as I know, he's there now. It's crazy.
But there are reports that Sissy isn't really feeling
is that what she's saying?
That maybe...
That's a grandmother, too.
Yeah.
So she might not feel nothing until Bobbi Kristina's about 25. You know, I'm just saying from a grandmother's point of view. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure. No telling what Miss Sissy's feeling right now. Yeah. She just lost her baby, you know? Yeah. And so it is what it is.
We saw Bobby Brown leave the funeral over some seating misunderstanding.
Whitney wouldn't have wanted that. That's the only thing that really stuck out to me, is that she would have wanted him to be there. And not that he did anything against her, but I think he respected her. And that's what made me take my head off to Bobby at the moment, is that he didn't allow whatever that moment was bringing to him disturb his posture, that he did leave. I mean, and what the media has seen about Bobby, I think he did well for the moment, because he could have chosen to do something totally opposite and not have dignity. And I think it was dignity to just leave without having anything worse.
Do you think they still loved each other?
I'm sure. Who doesn't love each other after 17 years
but
and
I
a child?
mean, do you think they were still in love with each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. Yeah, I do. I know he loves her to this day, and she loved him. Rightfully so.
Johnny Gill, we spoke with him, and he said at Bobby's mother's funeral, Whitney stood up and said, once a Brown, always a Brown.
We talked about it, and she told me that. So I told him, once a Brown, always a Brown. I said, you did? And what else did you do?
So why then, was it just because they just were so combustible together that they had to part if they loved each other so much?
I don't know, man. And, you know, that energy, you know, look at Bobby on stage, and then look at Whitney on stage, and then look at some of the shows that they've done. I guess the world can really just gather their opinion just from that alone. I can tell you this, I'll tell you this. My private moments with Whitney and Bobby, I don't know if it was peaceful because I was there, but it was peaceful. And he was very open with me, and he's always respected me. And I've always him. He's never given me a reason personally to say, oh, God, you know. And I say that with all honesty. And that's just the way it is.
Is there discourse now between him and Bobbi Kristina, or are they okay? Because we've heard both sides of the fence, that they have an okay relationship. Then some people say, no, they don't talk, they haven't seen each other. And I don't know if anybody really knows.
Exactly. I was going to say, I don't think anybody really knows. Really? Except for them. And because I'm not there, I'm not allowing myself that close with Bobbi Kristina at this particular time. I'm not able to say whether that is or not. But I can only say, with his blood running through her vein, they've got to be in touch in some way.
The talk now that maybe he should not be allowed to be with Bobbi Kristina and for the time being.
She's 19, and at the end of the day, whatever her choice is what we're all going to have to get with. If she were 5, I'm probably going to have more to say about that. But she's 18, be 19 this year. And what her choices are her choices. And I mean, for all we know, you know, there are thousands of opinions as they are having, but mine is that I trust whatever choice she's going to make. She's a smart kid. She's a smart kid.